delightful departure from the past. For the first time, the National Assembly has opened its own budget and provided a 10-line item of how it plans to spend 125 billion naira for the year 2017. Well, that's our focus on the program. So many thanks for joining us. It's Politics Today, live on Channels Television. I'm Charles Eruka. Well, you can follow the conversation on Twitter at CTV Politics and also watch us live on Facebook. Well, for the first time in 20 years, you may even call it a history-making event, the National Assembly has made public its budget 2017, and that's what we'll be looking at today on the program. But first, let's bring you some of the top political stories we've been following today.
We must grow what we eat, and we must make what we use. These are the words of the acting president, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, at the launch of the pilot edition of the Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises Clinic in Katsina State. Professor Osinbajo commended the state for its products packaging, marketing and quality initiative, which is in line with the federal government's Change Begins With Me program. The Supreme Court has affirmed the election of Governor Okezie Ikpeazu of Abia State. Two of the three-man panel of the Apex Court sitting in Abuja struck out the appeal of Mr. Uche Oga, challenging his nomination and election, thereby confirming the judgment of the appeal court. The case, which had been filed by Mr. Oga pertaining to the discrepancy in the governor's tax clearance certificates, was dismissed for lacking in merit. Dedicating his victory to the people after attending a church service at Government House Umuahia, Governor Ikpeazu called on all and sundry to join hands in building the state.
The Abia State case has lasted for long, but now it has been finally laid to rest. What you have just seen since 2015 is distraction of governance in Abia.
We are also grateful to the appellants, those who brought this case here. They were not fighting on the streets. They came here to court. The matter has been resolved. It has been resolved.
Meanwhile, the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Walter Onoge, has taken a swipe at politicians, warning them not to destroy the judiciary while delivering the ruling in the Abia governorship case. The CJN told the open court that desperate politicians had invaded the courts in a bid to pervert the course of justice. In the instant case, Justice Onoge said there had been several security breaches which would be thoroughly investigated.
Well, the National Assembly has, for the first time, given a breakdown of its own proposed budget. I'm looking at the figures at the moment now. After the Senate released the breakdown on Thursday, May the 11th, that's after passing a 7.44 trillion naira appropriations bill for 2017. Well, it did happen that the lawmakers raised their budget by 10 billion naira from the 115 billion naira which was allocated to the National Assembly by the President. Now, one of the main talking points of the day was that, well, for the first time in 20 years, the National Assembly published the details of its appropriations. Now, it's worthy of note that they increased their own budget by 10 billion to 125. Now, while that may be seen as an effort at transparency, which is commendable, well, the question is, can the federal lawmakers justify these humongous amounts going to a few individuals compared to the generality of the over 180 million Nigerians? Now, what are the implications of the National Assembly spending plan, both for the budget and the economy? Now, let's take a look at a breakdown of some of the figures. 14 billion 919 million. Well, slightly over that amount is going to the National Assembly's management. Now, 31 billion 398,765,886 naira will be going to the Senate, while the House of Representatives will be taking 49,052,743,983 million naira. Now, other appropriations includes legislative aids taking 9,602.09 million naira. For the National Assembly Services Commission, it's 2,415,712,873 naira. The Public Accounts Committee of the Senate will be taking 118.97 million naira, while the Public Accounts Committee of the House of Representatives will be receiving 142,764.2 naira. Then General Services, it's 12,584,000. Well, General Services, it's 12,584,672 naira. And then the National Legislative Institute, that's the National Assembly Legislative Institute, will be gulping 4,373,813,596 naira, while the service-wide vote 391,396,169 naira. Well, so many figures to be bandied about here, but then of course we'll be taking a look at the implications of these both for the National Assembly and the economy. Now let's get talking straight away, and at this point I'm being joined from our Abuja studio by the Chairman, House Committee on Media and Publicity, the Honorable Abdulrazak Namdas. And of course, we'll also be joined by an economist, Mr. Bismarck Ravane, who will be joining the conversation later here in Lagos on Skype. Well, Honorable Namdas, thanks so much for joining us for the program Politics today.